We talked about it a bit with Danielle, but how do you keep this team focused when you're looking at Drake right around the corner and senior day and all that? How do you keep them focused on a UNI game that's just as important?
Well, I think they're smart enough to know how good Northern Iowa is. I think that's the first thing. This is not a team you can overlook if you're wanting to win, and I think they understand how every game is critical and crucial at this point, regardless of who you're playing. I think they get big picture, and when you can get big picture going down the stretch, I think it keeps you a little bit more focused.
And obviously, knowing Drake and knowing that they probably don't have any plans to lose as well, does that add a bit more pressure to need to get the wins as well, both against Drake and here against UNI?
Well, I don't know if it's pressure. Maybe our team feels it is pressure. I just think it is what it is. I mean, if you're going to win a championship, if you're going to compete for a championship, you got to win games. It's the bottom line. And so, you either got to win them early or later, the whole way through. And I think our players understand that. I think they're looking at it as an opportunity. I haven't felt any pressure from them, but we probably wouldn't see that until the game.
Probably feels a bit of competitiveness as well. I mean, you look at Danielle, one of the most competitive people this program's probably ever seen. I imagine it lights a little fire under her.
She's very driven, like I said, very competitive, and she has some goals. She wants to do something really special, and it's within our grasp. Whether we can obtain it is yet to be seen. But I think our players and our staff, we're all really excited about the opportunity. And, I think you got to put yourself in position to have an opportunity, and that's where we're at.
Coach, you mentioned you expected to see some adjustments from teams the second time around at the Valley. What do you expect them? What adjustments do you expect from Northern Iowa and Drake this weekend?
Well, Northern Iowa, I think, will play us. They're such a personnel-driven defensive team, and they're so good. They play such intelligent basketball. So, if you prefer to drive to your left, they're going to try to take that away. If you're a really good three-point shooter, they're going to take that away. If you're more of a penetrator, they're going to try to take that away. So, they just try to take away your strength. So, we're going to definitely see that. We'll see some adjustments from them offensively as well, so where they feel like they can attack us and have opportunities. We don't know what those are. I'm not in their huddle. I don't have their game plan, so we have to be able to be ready to play basketball and be able to make adjustments and be sharp for 40 minutes.
5-point game last time you guys played them. I mean, they definitely going to bring a little revenge factor, I would imagine.
Well, there's no doubt. I mean, again, this is a really, really good basketball team who's playing very good basketball right now. And, they probably felt they had one slip away from them up there. So we have to play well. If we don't play well, we don't win that game. And I think our players understand that. But I also think they feel like we can. We can go out there and play well and do some of the things that we've been doing to make ourselves successful.
Big celebration for Dr. Mary Jo Wynn this weekend, and kind of just your overall thoughts on
it's a big weekend, and kind of fitting that this kind of weekend is when we are celebrating Dr. Wynn and her legacy and what she's been able to do, because there's no doubt that we have the opportunities here because of what she was able to do years ago, and the fights that she battled and the push that she had for women's athletics. And I think it's great that we're able to do something in remembrance of and honoring her. And I think there's going to be a lot of people here coming to enjoy the festivities, to enjoy it, and looking at it as a celebration. And hopefully we can do her proud on the court. Hopefully we can have a successful weekend as well and put that cherry on top.
It'd be interesting to see. The last time, I think the first game after she passed, they were throwing the Bears on the floor for the police thing, and if the confetti falls, be a nice little touch.
That would be cool. It would be cool. There's a lot going on right now in terms of this weekend with Danielle's senior day, with two big games with Dr. Wynn and the legacy and half-price tickets. I mean, there's just so much. And the men's game on Saturday, there's just so much going on. I think it's going to be fun to be a part of it. I think you can feel the excitement. You can feel the vibe that everybody has, and hopefully folks will want to come out and just take part in it.
When these senior days come around, do you recant any of your own memories?
I do. I remember the last time I played at Thompson Bowling Arena, that my fellow senior and I decided to make sure we kissed half court before we left. And so that was my memory, because it was a big deal. It was an absolute big deal that it was the last opportunity playing on our home court. And I know here from experience the last few years, it's just been a very emotional day for all of our seniors. and it will be again on Sunday for her.
And when you see their parents, I mean, when you take them on as freshmen, you almost assume that, like, mother from afar, kind of, you're the coach and you kind of help get them through college.
Yeah, you tell them you're going to take care of their kids and they're going to have opportunities, and it's hard. It's hard because they become your family. They really do, and we look at them that way, and we love every one of them, and we understand that these 4 years go by so fast. They do. They go by so fast. Freshmen don't believe it at this point, but they do go by so fast. And then you're moving on, and the cycle begins again. And it's what we do. We have the turnover every year, but it's always emotional when you're saying goodbye to your seniors.
Does it help a little though that especially at Missouri State there seems to be a great influence of the legacy and also the previous players, the alumni who come back, and you're always going to stay in the house?
Yeah, I think so. And I think obviously for Danielle walking out of here, I think she can feel really good about what she's accomplished, regardless of what happens here on out. I think she can feel really good about being a big part of continuing some success with the Lady Bear program among super talented individuals. And, she's a part of that. And I think that's a really special thing.
Coach, I'm sure you're tired of the young team questions, but with all this going on this weekend and with it being a little bit of a younger roster, do you change your message at all, or do you worry about their mentality going into it?
No, I tell you what, they came to me with quite a bit of focus this week. I asked them if they needed to work on some things and giving them a little bit of a voice, and well, they were right on top of things. They were ready to work. They were ready to get better at some things they felt like they needed to work on. So I think their focus has been good, and hopefully we can continue that through the weekend. I think, again, we just continue to try to do what we do. We're not changing and overhauling things at this point, so hopefully our players can feel comfortable about the setting and what we're trying to do. I think that's going to be important.
I imagine that's just music to your ears as a coach this time of year, because you're trying to get buy-in early in the season, and that really shows that they bought in.
It does. It does. They understand now. They understand some more whys that they may not have understood in November, and definitely not in December. But now I think they get to things now. They have seen big picture. They understand. We try to show them film. This is what happens when we do it right. This is what happens when we don't do it right, and they understand the importance of every single possession. It is that critical.
So, as before all the emotion and everything, how do you keep yourself focused away from a big game against Drake and senior day for you and I coming up next?
I think just taking each game, like, not only it's the last time I'm playing them in my college career, but also just each game is important. You can't just think of, one game because of the circumstances surrounding it, or that it's senior day. Regardless, each game you have to go into ready to play, ready to go, and so I think that's just kind of always in the back of my mind, like, no matter who you play, you got to come out ready to compete.
And knowing Drake, you have to assume that when you play them, they'll be sitting on one loss as well, and that'll be the championship. So knowing that, does that add some pressure to knowing you can't slip up against UNI?
I wouldn't say pressure, but it's definitely in the back of our minds, like, yeah, number one, UNI, great team, great coaching staff, like, they're going to come for us, they're gunning for us, and so I think that it's in the back of our mind that, yeah, we have to take care of business, and regardless if it was UNI, if it was Indiana State, Evansville, like, we have to take care of business no matter what.
Still, though, to be able to talk about, for the first time since your freshman year, the idea of being there at that 1 seed, that's got to be pretty exciting.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely exciting. There's a mix of emotions, I guess, kind of surrounding it, but it's definitely an exciting thing. It's definitely, I don't know, lights a little fire in, like, my belly. Like, I want it, and we're so close, and so just, again, making sure that we're focused, doing the little things, and taking care of business is going to be the big thing for us.
And you mentioned a mix of emotions. Obviously, senior day is right around the corner. We've talked about it a bit a couple weeks ago, but what's the mindset now when it's staring you right in the face? I don't even know what to say. Number one, I feel old. I'm like, what? Like, senior day? Like, I was just a freshman. Like, where did it go? But it's exciting. It's kind of scary, I guess, a little bit, just because everything's kind of coming to an end. But I don't know. I don't really like to think about it too much, just because we have games to play. Like, yeah, that's happening this weekend. There's so many things happening this weekend, but at the end of the day, we got to take care of business and play games and go out, compete, and win. What have you guys been looking at in particular as far as UNI in this next game? What sticks out for you guys as far as playing for them?
no matter, like, every year, especially, like, even this year, every year that we played them, they're just a really good team, and they're going to come out hard against us. They do really well scouting the teams that they play, and so we kind of know that. But at the end of the day, we just have to make sure we're focusing on ourselves, doing what we do best, boxing out, rebounding, sharing the ball, moving the ball, just all the things that we do well, just making sure that we continue doing that and focusing on that. And I always say this, but just continuing focusing on little things and make sure we're doing everything right.
Who's going to be here for you senior day?
Okay, so senior day, it's going to be my mom, dad, my older brother. My younger brother unfortunately cannot make it. He's got his own basketball game going on back home. And then I have Bonnie and Earl Spencer. They're basically like my aunt and uncle. Unofficially, officially my aunt and uncle. And then just some friends, some other friends too. So it'll be exciting.
Did you know that this team had it in them to do the sort of things that this team has accomplished so far this season?
I did. It was a little bit of a rocky start and a little bit of like kind of a rough beginning, I would say, but the athleticism of this team, I think I've said from day one, I've never been a part of a team that's been that athletic, and I think that coming in, we obviously have a young team and young players, but I knew from the start that we could definitely accomplish some big things when everything came together.
A lot of players always talk about when they're going out, we want to leave the program in better shape than when we found it. You feel like you've accomplished that?
I'd like to say, yeah. I just kind of want to leave, I guess, a legacy, as you would say, in the fact that my teammates knew that they could count on me to every day in practice just bring 100%, have that competitive edge, always want to get better, always want not only myself but my teammates to get better. So I think I have, and I hope that I've kind of like left that behind. And I mean, freshman year, we won the tournament and was able to go to NCAAs, and so if I can leave in my final year, we could go to NCAAs, that would be amazing.
How has your relationship with Kelly Harper sort of progressed as your career has moved on?
Yeah, I think I've gotten more comfortable around her, and I think no matter what, like coming in as a freshman, you're young, you don't really kind of know what to expect, but at the end of the day, like you really don't know what you're getting yourself into. And so I think definitely over the years, definitely gotten more comfortable around each other. I understand what she wants from me, what she expects from me and the rest of the team. And so I think that's something that sometimes maybe players, they've heard it from the coaches enough, but then having me as maybe a different perspective or more as like a peer or someone who's gone through it, I can kind of reiterate, and they can come to me if they have other questions, and so I think I can kind of help in that aspect. And no, yeah, it's been great. I've learned a lot from her, and yeah, she's great.
The university is going to honor Dr. Mary Jo Wynn this weekend, and obviously her legacy. What would be your message to fans to get out and celebrate it?
Yeah, I mean, she was an amazing woman. She created this great path for not only us, but like the athletes who have come before us and women athletes in general. And so it's a big weekend. The women's game, men's game, celebrating her and her life, her legacy she's left behind. I think it's definitely going to be a fun game, good games, great weekend to come out. I know the weather might not be very great, but I'm just saying, I'm from Minnesota, so it's not that bad. They can make it out, and tickets are half price, so I think that's just another thing, just
no brainer.
Come out, yeah.
You mentioned the men's game as well. Kelly's talked about it a bit, but do you guys feed off of them a bit back and forth, seeing both the teams perform so well?
Oh yeah, so I've been obviously here with Ryan Kreklow and JD, Jared Dixon, and so seeing them just have such a great year that they've been having, not only team-wise but like personally, and then I know they're cheering me on. We're always sending texts like, hey, good luck, like, or after the games, like, oh my gosh, that was amazing. Oh my gosh, after the game that JD hit that shot, I was like, OMG, like all caps, like so excited. So yeah, we definitely are we're always watching each other, how each team is doing, and definitely feeding off each other. And I don't know, it's exciting when both teams are doing well and like winning. It's definitely very fun, and we're always supporting each other, so that's kind of cool.
And you talk about the closeness of the seniors. I mean, their senior day comes up a bit first as well. You guys have followed similar paths in that here in your guys last year, you were able to see the program kind of reach a height that it hadn't seen in a while. Do you guys talk about that at all back and forth?
A little bit. It's like, I think it's always in the back of our minds, but at the same time, we like don't really want to like talk about it or like, you know, just jinx anything, things of that nature. But yeah, it's definitely in the back of our minds, and we're just, I don't know, it's great to have, I feel like you don't get that at all schools where you have such good support, not only from, the fans, the community, but also like men's coaches, the men's team supporting us, women's coaches and the women's team supporting them. I feel like if you're at our games, you're going to see the other players at each other's games. So I think it's definitely something that's really cool, and something that maybe both of our seasons didn't start off on the best notes, but now that we are kind of like turning around and it's coming to the end of the season, just seeing that support, and I don't know, it's like coming together as our own individual teams, but also coming together as like the basketball program. So yeah, it's definitely been really cool, and I don't know, it's exciting.
Any coaching ambitions? GA maybe?
I don't know. I thought about it a little bit. I'm looking to go to law school in the fall and kind of hopefully combine like law degree negotiation with, I'm a marketing major, minor in communications, kind of combine all of that with sports and maybe do something like professional sports agent, something maybe along the lines of that. So we'll see. Yeah, I thought about GA a little bit, but I've been told that you read a lot in like your first year of law school, and so that I probably won't have that much time. So we'll see.